Florida State is less than 1 week away from their biggest recruiting target of this cycle making his announcement, and it's not going to take place without some drama first. Let's jump right into it. A lot of times we will bury this or try and get you to stay longer in the video to reveal something exciting. We'll get right into it. We've been told by multiple sources that Charles Lester III, Florida State's cornerback target, a lot of people have talked about whether or not he was a silent commit or not. We've been told that Lester will be taking a visit to Colorado this week, something we learned a couple of days ago. We thought that there might be some movement, some potential canceling of this visit, and that's why we didn't come right out and just make a video about it. Didn't come right out and say this was going to happen because there are a lot of moving pieces. As far as I know, this has also been corroborated by at least one other source. Brendan Sonnone of Noles 247 put out a report last night, very similar, and we'll talk a little bit about what we expect this week. Now, before everyone freaks out in true FSU fashion, I do think there's some good news here that we'll share in just a second, and I will tell you why I don't think that this is another Travis Hunter situation from 2 years ago. We've been updating our Discord almost hourly on this situation, and that's a great place to go and join and be a part of, because I can't just record 5 videos a day and give you updates with every change or every new development that happens with this, but I can type out quick insight and share it with folks over there. The link to join is pinned in the comments and in the top of the description. If you need that, go join our Patreon. It's patreon.com/DFNS so you don't miss out on that. Okay, I know you guys know this, but Charles Lester is a 5-star cornerback out of Sarasota, Florida. He came out and publicly named FSU as his leader a couple of months ago, and he's really been the prize target of the Seminoles throughout this entire cycle. They love Luke Krummenhoek. Luke has been committed for a long time, and the guy that they've been going after, the guy that they've really been trying to lock in is Charles Lester III. He visited officially Alabama, Colorado, and FSU in June. When his FSU visit was finished, he canceled his upcoming visit to UGA, and he set a commitment date. A lot of Florida State fans thought at that time, this thing's wrapped up, this thing's done, we're good to go. Well, a little bit of drama here as the month has gone. Earlier this week, Ryan Wright of Recruiting News Guru reported that Lester would be taking a surprise visit. In that article, the destination was not named, but it did seem like it would likely be to one of the places that he had officially visited, whether that would have been Florida State, Colorado, or Alabama. I believe that now to be Colorado. Things can change, and that visit could potentially not take place. But I do believe that Charles Lester is probably going to visit Colorado this week as the dead period is over, and now we are on a quiet period. I won't go deep into that, but essentially a dead period is no contact. A quiet period is contact can happen on a coach's campus. So he could go to Colorado, he could go to Florida State, places like that. I will say this, some caveats, some details around this visit. I believe there's a teammate or two that he's going with. He's not just going by himself. He's got a teammate at Venice High School that is currently committed to Colorado, and I believe there could be another one going with him. Another caveat, Florida State is fully aware of this visit, and I would say there aren't major concerns on this. I think anytime you've got a guy that's visiting right before he's making a commitment, there are some minor concerns. I think that's pretty normal, but I wouldn't say that they're absolutely panicking or melting down. Charles Lester has stayed in very good communication, based on my understanding, with Florida State staff and other commits, which we'll get to in just a minute, at Florida State. And so it's not a situation that they're unaware of. Now, would they prefer Charles Lester to not take a visit to Colorado? I think any coach in America that's recruiting somebody would prefer that recruit only ever visits their school. I think that if you're dating somebody and you're going out with them, you'd prefer that person only ever has an interest in you and doesn't try and play the field, right? And so maybe it's a little different with dating and recruiting, but yeah, I would assume that Florida State would prefer Lester doesn't go to Colorado. But I don't think that they're telling him, hey, you're not allowed to do this visit. We're going to pull your Scott. No, I think that they're understanding and they're okay with it. I still believe that the expectation is that he will be at Florida State this weekend. Florida State has a huge event, Seminole Showcase, that is coming up. And I still think there's a ton of confidence around the fact that Charles Lester will probably still commit to the Noles on the 28th. I know nobody wants him out there. I know FSU fans don't want him going to Boulder. But again, he's been in full communication with both FSU and other FSU commits, which you'll find out later that we'll tell you about in just a moment. We'll find out why that's a good thing. But if you're an FSU fan, it's going to be a loud week. There's going to be a lot of noise. You're going to see a lot of Colorado hype on the timeline for Charles Lester. But I do believe that once the week is finished, he will commit to FSU 1 week from last night. I've been pretty high on Charles Lester committing to Florida State. I have not, as of this time, as of Saturday morning, I'm recording this and then putting this video right out. As of Saturday morning, I have not decreased my confidence level. I put in a pick for Charles Lester in our Discord. Again, go join that if you're not already part of it. And I haven't decreased that confidence at all. I haven't flipped that pick. My expectation is still that he will commit to the Noles. I'll keep you updated there. If anything changes through the Discord, we'll do videos at the time that we can. But I do feel pretty good about that. And we'll stay pretty close to the recruitment, obviously, as this is a huge one. I want to tell you guys this, and I hope you guys trust me when I say this, but I don't really ever speak in generalities or vague or hidden messages on this channel. I don't ever tell you like, oh, something good's coming, so make sure you're subscribed. I try not to do that too much, right? We try to be pretty straightforward and just tell you what's happening, what's not happening. And if something big's going to happen and I'm not allowed to talk about it, I don't really talk about it much, right? So trust me when I tell you guys this. I'm not trying to lure you in. I'm not trying to get you to subscribe to something. I'm not trying to get you to join something or pay me money or anything like that. But I do believe that there is going to be some info that comes to light in the next few days that will ease FSU fans' minds, will put them at rest on this visit a little bit. It's still Coach Prime. It's still Deion Sanders. It's still the Travis Hunter syndrome that we all have from a couple of years ago. But I do believe some info is coming to light in the next couple of days that will put FSU fans' mind at ease with this recruitment. I wish I could say more on that. I've literally been instructed to not say what that is, but I do want to tell you good news is coming. It's not even coming from me. So I'm not telling you to subscribe. I'm not telling you to stay locked in with the channel or any of those things. There will be news coming out that will make FSU fans feel better about this situation. I know right now with him visiting Colorado, you don't feel good, but just hold on. I promise the good news is coming. Okay, so what does all of this mean for FSU? Well, I want to get into that, but just before we do, let me do something real quick and give some love to our friends over at Gramco. If you're using Delta 8 products, you should be using Gramco. You can go to thegramco.com. You can use TJ25 at checkout for 25% off. Listen, they are FSU alums. They are Nole fans. They are vet-owned. You should be supporting them as opposed to anyone else in the Delta 8 space. We appreciate them for their support. The blue raspberry gummies are the absolute best. Green apple's a close second. Go check them out today, thegramco.com, TJ25 for 25% off. Okay, so what's this mean? Well, a lot of fans have PTHSD. That's right. I did not misspeak, but they have post-Travis Hunter stress disorder. And anytime Deion Sanders' name is mentioned, FSU fans are freaking out, and understandably so. But as we told you, that is not this situation at all. Hunter was committed for 2 years, and Lester is not committed right now. There's no reason that Charles Lester can't go out and pick a school that he wants to visit. And if he ends up wanting to go there, which again, I don't anticipate, but if he ends up wanting to go there, that's way different than a kid who you had committed for 2 years flipping on national TV on the biggest day of the year. Hunter stopped communicating with other commits and to the staff to some degree, as we're told. Lester hasn't done that. Again, that communication has stayed strong. He's made them aware. He's not taking secret visits or hiding things. I think that it's a different situation in that regard as well. And this is not to disparage, but I also think Hunter kind of intentionally misled, or at the best was secretive about his intentions. And Lester's also been pretty upfront with the staff and others about this. Florida State got absolutely blindsided by Travis Hunter, and they're not getting blindsided again. Lester has a great relationship with the staff and Florida State's other commits, and the things that led to Hunter flipping to Jackson State for Coach Prime are no longer present in this recruitment. We don't need to dive into every single detail, but Florida State's added some things that make a last second flip or a last second switch or change of heart unlikely, and they've also taken some things away that make it unlikely as well. Maybe that's another video for another time, but I feel like we're in a better position today than we have been in the past for something like this. At the end of the day, Florida State has done a phenomenal job in this recruitment. He's visited Tallahassee over 10 times. That's more than double the number of times he's been anywhere else. Mike Norvell has done a great job in this recruitment. Lester, being from where Coach Prime is from and playing the same position as the GOAT, is something that stands out for sure. But I don't know that that's enough for 2 visits to undo all the work that's happened by this Florida State staff in this program. Again, as of today, Saturday, July 22nd, I'm not backing off my confidence of Charles Lester committing to FSU. I'm going to stay extremely close to the recruitment. And if you need up to the minute insight on it, again, join the Patreon. Go down into the comments. It's $3 a month, and you can get access as we hear it. You don't have to wait for me to go throw the kids in a room or go get a camera set up to do a video. We'll kind of just provide the access right away. We told our Discord this yesterday. This is the first chance I've gotten to get on camera and try and share with you guys. Patreon.com/DFNS. It's there in the pinned comment. That'll give you access to the Discord where you can get all of this insight there. What are your thoughts? Love for you guys to comment below. Where do you think Lester ends up? You give me a go Buffs or go Noles. We'll see who wins in the comments and who has more. Again, if you want more recruiting news and notes, you can get them and get caught up by watching this video right here.